Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today we are making bananas Foster. This is a New Orleans inspired dish that has warm, buttery, caramelized bananas served alongside a boozy sauce. This is a classic dish that is the perfect way to end any meal in style. So let's get started. Hey again, this is Chef Vic. Hello to all my food lovers out there. I can't wait to show you how to make this recipe that will literally set your taste buds on fire. But before we dive in, make sure you smash that like button for me. It really helps the channel out. So for this recipe, we're going to need about 3 large bananas that we're going to peel first and then slice lengthwise. Take your time during this slicing process. They don't have to be one complete whole lengthwise slice, but you're aiming for larger pieces of banana here. I found it best to use a paring knife so you can get into those really precise spots to get those long, thin strips of banana. And after we slice the bananas up, we want to kind of move quickly to the next stage, as bananas, when they're out of their peel, begin to wilt a bit, and so we want to have these bananas as fresh as possible. So in a large saucepan, we want to add in 3/4 cups worth of light brown sugar, and it's important that you have this brown sugar crumbled as you add it into the saucepan. This helps it blend better with the butter we're going to use, and for this recipe we're going to need about 1/2 cups worth of unsalted butter that's sliced. You want to have this pan set over low heat, or 225 degrees Fahrenheit or 107 degrees Celsius. At this temperature the butter will begin to melt, and so we want to kind of work quickly by adding in 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, followed by 1/4 teaspoon's worth of ground nutmeg. These are all the ingredients we need for the base of our bananas Foster, so use a whisk to whisk all these ingredients together until they form a nice even layer mixture. This should be the consistency you see out of your bananas Foster. If you were to add in the brown sugar as a clump, you'd often get a thick paste instead of this liquid texture that we're aiming for. And we wanted to start our oven on low temperature first, because if we heat these ingredients too quickly, the butter will not mix with the sugar properly. But once the butter has melted and the sugar is dissolved, we want to increase the stovetop temperature to medium-high heat, or 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius, constantly whisking this mix until it starts to bubble, which should take only about 4 minutes. And after that time is up, we want to add in our sliced bananas at this stage. You want to gently add the bananas to the pan and cook them amongst the caramel until they become tender. Toss the caramel on the bananas as well so that both sides are cooked, and this total time should take about 4 minutes. And after those 4 minutes are up, we want to remove our pan from the stove top, and here is the special ingredient, our spiced rum. I'm using 1/3 cup of spiced rum for this recipe. Feel free to choose your favorite brand. Let me know down in the comments which spiced rum you'd pick. But whichever spiced rum you do choose, make sure you aim for at least 35% alcohol per volume. You want something at minimum that much or more. Otherwise, you won't be able to flambe your bananas Fosters properly. But once you add your spiced rum, working quickly, you want to use either a long lighter, a long match, or a kitchen torch to ignite the rum in the pan and swirl the pan constantly until the flames burn out. I'm using a low alcohol percentage per volume, so it's not bursting with flame. So although you can't see it, trust me, this is on fire, so you always want to exercise caution when working with this dish. Now, if you feel unsafe lighting the rum on fire, you can always add the rum to the pan and allow it to cook on the stovetop for 1 more additional minute instead. Once you give that time for the bananas Foster to cook the alcohol, it'll be burned away and you're just left with the flavor of the rum. All in all, the flambeing process should take no longer than 30 seconds. And now we're ready to plate it. You want to serve the bananas Foster in your bowl of choice. I like to add on some long strips as well as some of the caramel that we've cooked. And I like topping it with vanilla ice cream, as well as drizzling some more caramel over the ice cream if you desire. You want to serve this immediately and enjoy. And just like that, you've made Bananas Foster right at home. This is truly a delicious meal, cooks up in really minutes, and is definitely a crowd pleaser. For an added effect, if you're making this in front of a group, you want to turn your lights down or off so that people can see the fire on the Bananas Foster really dance. I like adding on the ice cream right before you serve it, as it tends to melt pretty quickly once you sit it on top of the Bananas Foster. But when you do try this recipe at home, be sure to tag me at Chef Vic Cuisine or hashtag Chef Vic Cuisine so I can see your great takes on this dish. This recipe and many more can be found in my cookbook, Chef Vic Cuisine Volume 4, Enhancing Your Inner Chef. And that's available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that in my description box. Feel free to click the pop-up on your screen for more information on that as well. Thank you all so much for watching this recipe. I really hope you enjoyed learning how to make Bananas Foster. And if you did, be sure to smash that like button for me. It's one of the best ways to show support for the channel. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button too to see more recipes just like this one. And sharing is caring, so if you think someone else will enjoy this recipe just as much as you did, feel free to share this with all your family and friends. And stay tuned for next week, where I show you to make an Italian croissant called cornetti. These are really delicious and easier to make than you think. Well, I can't thank you enough for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe. You can always check out more recipes on my page now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss one. YouTube thinks you'll like these videos, so let's see if they're right. And I'll catch you next time on another episode of Chef Vic Cuisine. And until then, peace.